Today's destination, I suppose it's not the most kid-friendly place if you think about it. I've been there maybe once or twice with the children, but I felt out of place as a parent, to be honest. It was full of like younger people.
Yeah.
Where are you taking us to today, Jen?
So, our segment is K-Patch, dispatching me to every part in Korea. But I know that you guys have high interest in Seoul City.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to hit some of those places. And today we're going to Itaewon.
Yes, our listeners, even if they weren't familiar with it, they became familiar with it after Itaewon Class, the drama. But it's always been like for the past, 10, 15 years, a hot, trendy destination. And before that, even like a global hub. I remember when I was young, you go there for fake designer goods. That's what they sold in large quantities.
Fake designer goods.
I think they've clamped down a lot, so it's harder to find. But when I was young, that was the image. It was also a little bit scary because it was where there were lots of foreigners, and I think a lot of people were scared, myself including it, actually. Many like big American GI soldiers like walking down the streets, and I'd be like, oh my goodness, I'm a little scared. These days, a different image. What are we going to see in your first video then, Jen?
So I had some good experiences here and there in Itaewon, and for this week I'm gonna show you this amazing Seoul Central Islamic Mosque, which is in the heart of Itaewon, and also this very famous again furniture street, antique street in Itaewon.
Right. Let's check it out.
So to Koreans, it's so uncommon to see a mosque, right?
There's not many in plain sight, right?
And this is surely known to be the biggest, and as you can see, it is so grand.
Wow.
And I was so surprised about the size, but also how delicate the design is.
Mosques do look beautiful. And you can actually miss this even if you're in Itaewon because it's up the hill kind of behind some buildings, right?
Really on a very steep
there's
hill.
There's a school?
Yeah, there's a school as
well. I didn't know that.
And right near that building, in the parking lot, there's this Turkish cafe where they provide desserts and coffees. And I thought it's a great place to hit together.
There's some Turkish delights there, the jelly.
Very good, actually. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
If you go there
see.
with your kids, I would highly recommend. And you can see some of these beautiful products of Turkish cultures.
And the people are Turkish there? Like the staff?
Think so, as you can see from the video,
Wow. What is this?
It really feels like you are in a completely different country.
What are you eating? What kind of pastries are they? I've never
that's
tried
kind of
that.
I think like a pancake or a cake from Turkey. And it tastes like honey together with butter. It wasn't something that very shockingly different.
Okay.
But the texture, I'd say, was something that I don't try in Korea.
What was the thing with all the little kind of, I don't know how to describe it. It almost
I think
looks
that's
like
a coconut, shattered.
little shreds of coconut.
Yeah, shreds.
That looked
Coconut
delicious.
shreds. It was really good, guys.
So I saw at the beginning of the video as well, there was somewhere called Cairo something or other. So up near the mosque, there are actually lots of Islamic or maybe that area of the world centered cuisine, cafes and restaurants around that area.
Yeah, around this building. So once you go up the hill, I only found this cafe alone.
Yeah.
But if you go down, then you'll see a lot of like Islamic bookstores and food places.
Yeah, because to describe where it is, because unless you go and search it, it's actually really easy not to see that, despite you saying it's very big, and it is very big when you get up there from your video, I see. But it's up some really like steep stairs,
Very
right?
steep, yeah.
So
You'll get the feeling that, is this the right direction?
Yeah, where am I going? It doesn't look like some religious facility is up there.
Yeah.
But if you're familiar with Itaewon, from Itaewon Station, if you kind of come out the exit where the fire station is and kind of keep walking down the road towards, what is that area? It's Hangangjin, right? That end. Keep walking that way and then up really steep steps on the right. I think there's a sauna. There definitely used to be. I used to go after football.
Wow.
That was really good.
You have a really clear memory. Oh my God.
That's the only time I went up there. And I was really, again, I was surprised. I was like, what is up these stairs? It looks a bit different.
Yeah.
And then you'll find that mosque if that's what you're into, or you just want to take some photos. As Jen said, it's not common to see mosques in Korea.
Right. I think it really gives you different feeling compared to when you walk all the way up to the hill. Because this time I used my car, so it was much more comfortable. But also I really enjoyed going through the street, seeing the stores, and I remember my first visit was like, oh my God, maybe almost 10 years ago. With my present husband again. And we've been to a lot of places, by the way. And I was so amazed to see how the village, I would call it, has grown and developed.
Since then.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much now in Itaewon. And there's that side of things, the more kind of homely feel and maybe like the local feel to those Islamic countries. But there's also really trendy, cool, youngster hip places behind the Hamilton Hotel area. Is really busy on a weekend. We've showed you the mosque and the Turkish cafe by the mosque in Itaewon. Lots of messages. Aaron saying the food looks delicious. Steve saying the pastries and desserts look amazing at that Turkish bakery. Yeah, in the UK, Turkish Delight was actually the brand of jelly dessert that you could buy in the chocolate section for ages. So I think Brits are familiar with that. But here in Korea, it's not so common to have a Turkish dessert. Maybe Turkish ice cream is a bit famous, right?
Quite common now.
I've never seen that in the UK. But when I came here, I was really surprised. I was like, why are Turkish people always doing the weird ice cream tricks? You know, they've got this long scooper and they often trick the kids into like trying to pick up the cone and then they can't. It's real fun.
They're joking with the kids.
Yeah, that's quite famous
and
here, isn't it?
And you can easily find them selling Turkish ice cream in like amusement parks, usually, as you said, for the kids.
Yeah, just random places, right? Random entertainment places. There's a stall with a Turkish guy and a hat on. You got some messages?
Yeah, from Donna. I ate affogato, espresso over vanilla ice cream at a lovely second floor cafe.
In Itaewon.
Beautiful.
You can find pretty much something for everyone there. If you go way up the hill there towards Namsan, there's the big H luxury hotel and you can look over Itaewon area and that area and the Han River. That's beautiful. But then you can find cheap, really cool, trendy hole-in-the-wall cafes as well.
Yeah, a lot of college students go there for their weekend getaway with their friends. And as you said, it's a romantic place for the couples as well.
There's something for everybody. Apart from, as I said, I don't think for kids. Would you agree, Jen? Like, were there places that would be maybe suitable for children?
I don't think so. Yeah,
I felt a bit sad by that.
I mean, the road itself is narrow, and there are a lot of like motorbikes and cars.
And if you go on the weekend into the 골목길s, the alleys, they can be packed with adults. You know, sometimes if you go a little later, who have been drinking as well. So for kids, not really advisable, I'd say.
Yeah.
Benny saying, "Wow, lovely dedication to the Muslim community with that mosque and Turkish desserts. I must try that soon." Is Itaewon also having restaurants from other countries, not just Muslim countries?
Oh, definitely. This is very multicultural place, guys.
Yeah.
So to give you a brief history about this region, if you may, it started all after the Korean War, and near this place, there is U.S. camp. So initially, this place was much more about U.S. culture.
Yeah.
Because there were soldiers from America. And then as time went by, we have more visitors from different countries, and it has become much more multicultural from every parts of world, really, right?
Yeah, you can find British pubs in the back alleys, like we showed you, some Islamic country places. There's a lot of halal food in that area, to be honest. And then lots of European, South American, Southeast Asian. You can really find, like Jen says, everything. In the 80s and 90s, early 90s, I would say, it was completely America-centric. And it was one of the only places in Korea where you could go and maybe reliably find English speakers, like maybe in the cafes and the restaurants as well. Other places at that time, really hard to find people who would speak back to you in English, to be honest. Yeah.
And Yeah, so before it was much more about little foreign country within Seoul City. So there weren't many Koreans you can find on the street. But now it is very different, right? A lot of Korean couples from different generations are visiting. It's a hot tourist spot for locals as well.
Yeah, it's a good mix, I think. International people still love going there, but there's loads of Koreans as well, and you just all mingle together.
And there are a lot of performances. It's much more interactive, which would be really welcome, isn't it?
You can find the best restaurants and best bars, I think, in Itaewon. It's maybe even, and this might be controversial for people who love Gangnam, but I say it's overtaken that area as the cool, trendy place. It's not like as big and modern. It's got a bit of an older Seoul vibe, but I'd say lots of people love hanging out there. You also had a message from Cisco, right?
Yeah. There is Indo Resto too there, Peter. Itaewon, not my favorite area anyway. I only went there when I have a reason to go there. Hey. We'll share pictures to Kakao Talk.
Oh, we'll try and get those up later. The thing that I can understand from Siska's message there is quite different from the rest of Seoul and the rest of Korea Itaewon.
Yes.
So if you're going for that traditional, maybe Korea vibe, perhaps you might skip Itaewon. But I'd say like many cities, some of the best places are where foreign communities are. Like in London, Chinatown is amazing. And you get some amazing Chinese food. And other districts with other cultures, it's just part of that country in some way. Yeah,
but come to think of it, I don't recall any other country having like this kind of Itaewon place with so much multicultural, food stores all together at one spot.
Yeah, I wonder.
Because usually they're like Chinatown, Italy, like there's certain theme, but Itaewon is really so global, isn't it?
It's just a global hub, isn't it? I wonder, let us know, listeners, in your city or town, is there like a global place? Maybe Hong Kong, I remember one of my friends saying, maybe it's Lang Kwai Fong. I'm not sure if that's just for like mainly Europeans and Americans, but it was really a different vibe. Let me know if you know. Second video today, Jen, you said there's a furniture street. Is that what we're going to get to?
Oh, yes. There's so much things to do and see in Itaewon, and I picked this beautiful antique furniture street, which is one of those hot tourist spots.
Here we go.
So it was a rainy day, by the way, so unfortunately I couldn't see the furnitures out on the street as they do.
Okay.
They often have like fairs, but you can see these lovely furnitures just all close by. And there were this tourist couple looking into this store, and I happened to peek into this store, and this is what you get.
It's not common to see this kind of antique furniture in Korea. In England, you see this everywhere. Like, it's very common.
Yeah, most of them are like very European.
Yeah, I think imported a lot of them, right?
I didn't find it multicultural for this street alone.
Yeah.
So for me, I really liked it. But if you want something more multicultural, then it may not be your feeling.
Yeah, antique.
Just so soothing.
Antique, like Western furniture is the hub. And they've like made that. They revamped it, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago or so. And so the street has a little sign on it. It says Furniture Street or Kagugori there. And it's just a nice stroll. I never buy antique furniture, but just looking at the furniture there is really fun. And I think it is a bit pricier to what you might be used to in the States or in the UK, because it's very rare to have here in Korea. But you're right, the atmosphere, completely different to the mosque and the Turkish cafe.
Right? And it's so close,
Yeah. It's down the road from Itaewon Samgori, right? The kind of three-way road where the station is, and then you do another right down the next side street. Again, look it up before you go, because if you're on the main street of Itaewon, you won't see this furniture street, right? The main street is all shops and then a hotel, etc., etc. You have to know where to go to find these gems that Jen has introduced today.
Yeah, and this street was formed in 1960s when North American soldiers stationed in Yongsan, the U.S. camp again, and they sold their furniture before returning back to their home country.
Oh, wow. So they
That was
brought it
the
over
start.
with them,
Yeah.
and then they left it in Korea and just sold it.
Right, because they can't carry it on the plane, right?
That's amazing.
And then as time went by, more people were visiting this spot, and we're seeing a row of these stores beautifully. And also you can find cafes and food stores together.
Down that area. And it's just fun to walk around, isn't it? Marilyn says, would you say it's expensive to live in Itaewon? If you're living in a nice new build, I'd say it would be pretty pricey. But there are lots of, like we said, older buildings in Itaewon. And if you're living in a smaller villa around that area, it can be fairly reasonable, I think.
Actually, I had a friend from America whom I met at grad school. She lived in Itaewon.
Okay.
And she was looking for something very economical.
Yeah.
So I think you can definitely find some of those places. And in fact, if you go there, a lot of the homes are really old.
Yes,
and
the buildings are really old.
It's not so fancy, especially near the mosque, And in fact, this district has been designated by the government to redevelop.
Oh, I see. So it's going to change a lot.
It's going to change for sure, I believe, in a couple of decades.
When you drive around the little alleys, you can see buildings 40, 50 years old, perhaps, low-story builds. And like Jen said, if you go inside, a lot of them can be quite worn. But in lieu of that, they can be cheap to live in. And Benny says, I don't know if we'd have a Filipino restaurant there in Itaewon. I'm sure there must be a Filipino one.
I'm curious.
And then you say, whoa, furniture stores over in Itaewon. That'll be on my list to visit in Seoul.
Yes.
Yeah, not just general furniture. This is all kind of used antique stuff is what they specialize in there, right?
Yeah, and I think they regularly have this kind of like a festival or fair, and you can you can search it on online, and you can see people just look around the items on the street under the sunny day.
Yeah, when it's not raining, there's a lot out on the streets, right? You got some?
Oh yes, from Stacy. And I love antique furniture. And from Steve, lots of unique furniture pieces at the store.
Yeah, if you want to stand out in Korea, I think getting antique furniture is quite a good way to do it. Whereas in the UK, everyone seems to have some kind of antique furniture, so you're not really standing out in that way.
Yeah, I think Koreans have something for European style furniture, don't you think?
Yeah, my auntie, when I used to visit in the 90s, she was quite wealthy at the time, and her house was full of all this old Baroque European style wooden furniture in a Korean apartment. So it really it was an interesting kind of vibe to it, because you're living on the 20th floor with all this European furniture, which you expect in a European house. She used to love it, actually. Yana says, talking about Itaewon, I remember reaching the airport in Korea at midnight one time I visited. I had to get off at the Itaewon area because the train no longer worked. It was a bad decision in the summertime. People were partying until late. It was so crowded.
I hope that maybe I can film some scenes from clubs or bars, because that's a huge night culture in Itaewon. And if you like that,
Yes.
I think it's worth to check it out. Of course, if you're an adult.
Yes. Yeah, no kids allowed.
No.
And you'd have to get someone to look after your son, Jen, while you're filming that. And it can get ram-packed. The last time I was there at night time, must have been just before COVID. The street behind the Hamilton Hotel is the main street for all the cool bars and stuff. You couldn't move. The alleyway was just packed full of people, and everyone just rubbing against each other, drinking and stuff. Now I'm older, I don't like that. When I was younger, kind of yeah, this is fun.
Yeah.
Now it's ooh, get off me. You're all sweaty. Marilyn Wells also says, my list is getting longer of places to visit when I go to Korea next year.
Nice.
For sure, Itaewon is definitely a place I want to go to. I'll check out the places from the videos, perhaps. Marilyn's from New Zealand. I'm not sure about any New Zealand cuisine there, but I do know there is a fabulous from the same Southern Hemisphere side of things, South African restaurant there, which is really famous.
I actually found one of that.
Oh,
yeah,
have
there
you
was
been?
a very good. In fact, I wanted to hit some of those places, but I have to say it's not a kind place for parking.
Ah, yes,
Yeah.
not Itaewon. Don't take your car.
I had to park at the Yongsan-gucheong,
The city
city
hall.
hall place.
And that's a little bit of a walk on the Noksapyeong side, I think, of Itaewon. And yeah, you'll have to walk a long time. But actually, that's quite a cool building, the
It
Yongsan
is.
City
That
Hall.
building itself is worth to check it out. The design, it looks like a wave, you know.
Yeah, it's all glass and shiny. We got some pictures to show as well. Siska's got in touch here saying, so far, only been to Itaewon a couple of times. One time because I joined the Create Your Hangul t-shirt event at Itaewon Station.
Nice.
Oh, brilliant. I think that's just a temporary event. I don't think that's all the time. And then you said the second time was when John invited us to see him play at a club in Itaewon. John is a former guest at Arirang Radio.
Wow.
Forgot the club name though, and we only waited outside because you needed a pass or something to enter the club. And then suddenly we saw Esna and we got to go in. Esna took us with her and even met another former guest at Arirang Radio, Amy, inside. All these pictures.
Oh, nice.
That's what's great about Itaewon. If you meet people you know, then you can maybe get sneaked into clubs and
now
places.
I'm getting jealous. I miss that kind of
Yeah.
days, you know.
All right, let's go, Jen. let's go on Friday night one time and relive our youth, perhaps.
Oh my God, that's so nice.
We also had something from Ing Yin in Malaysia who said this. I went to Itaewon for a fashion party and my mum, who was waiting for me, managed to order a coffee all by herself at a nearby cafe. I was so proud of her. I think this is the guest house photo, but we got some of
Oh, that looks
Yin.
delicious though.
And you can see on the wall the Itaewon mural.
Yeah.
That's a good photo
That's
spot, isn't it?
beautiful.
And then you said, I stayed in Koreatown and Little India in Bangkok and was surprised to see Korean BBQ restaurants and many Korean shops there. Oh, wow. This is Bangkok's Koreatown. Oh.
I can see the hunger there.
And
the
there's even
alphabet.
a Ollie's Coffee, which is a brand here in Korea. That's pretty cool,
Is
isn't
it Ollie's?
I'm just
didn't
not
know.
saying the brand name
Sorry,
properly.
that's a bad joke, isn't it?
No, if you're getting sponsored, you can say them, Jen. You got some information for us about Itaewon that we could give to our listeners before we need to say goodbye?
I thought, some of you might wonder, who built the mosque that I just showed you in the first part? And
Yes.
I was surprised to find out that it was actually supported by the President Park Chung-hee during the
Wow.
1960s.
Kind of
who
dictatorial
offered-
government.
Yes, who offered the Korean Muslim Federation land on which to build a proper mosque as a gesture of goodwill to potential Middle Eastern allies then.
Wow.
And so a lot of the governments from Middle East, including Saudi Arabia and several other Middle Eastern nations, they provided funds
Wow.
to build this amazing mosque.
Do you know a bit of history there? A lot of Koreans in the 80s and maybe 70s went to work in Saudi Arabia. All of my uncles, they went together with one Korean
wow.
construction company because they were using a lot of Korean companies
Yeah.
there to build things in the desert. And you'd make a lot of money compared to what you could make in Korea.
Yeah.
And I think the relationship between the Middle East and Korea was really strong there economically.
Maybe because of that reason, most of the funds came from Saudi Arabia.
Interesting, yeah.
you know.
Still a very wealthy company thanks to all the oil there. To be honest, to give the flip side, there are certain places in Korea where there have been mosque plans and then the locals have said no and really protested. I think it was in Daejeon maybe, where there are a lot of protests against the building of a mosque because it's not common. So Korean people are a little bit fearful sometimes of what it
Yeah.
will do to the neighborhood, which of course we need to get past that. And hopefully in the future we can all live happily ever after,
Yes,
right?
hopefully.
Jen, we're going to take a look at Itaewon Part 2 next week.
Yes.
Looking forward to it. Have a wonderful 7 days and we'll see you on Thursday.
Be safe, everyone.
Thank you very much.